I overstay my visa. What can I possibly do? Is there a way for me to adjust status or extend or do something with my legal status in the US? In this video, I am going to give you a quick 10 minutes free consultation, basically going through all those questions that I ask people when I consult with individuals that have overstayed their visas. My name is Bijoux Ngwanda. I'm an immigration lawyer based here in DC. I do work with individuals across the country and around the world because we're dealing with complex US immigration laws. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you're not new, welcome back. Thank you for subscribing. And again, please do not forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. If you enjoy the content, please go ahead and share, like, and don't forget to comment below. And also, before we get started, please follow me on my new Instagram page because I started a new Instagram page. If you have been following me on Instagram, I've moved around a lot, but now I finally came with a more creative way to actually produce content on Instagram. My new Instagram is at Attorney Bijoux. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. We'll focus more on business immigration. That will be our main focus, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about some other subjects, but our main focus will be immigration for entrepreneurs, basically in business immigration. So let's get right into it. What exactly can we do? I overstay my visa. What can I do? The first question we look at is what type, actually the first question we ask is, how did you get here? What type of visa did you get to the US with? For example, it has to be those either single intent or dual intent type of visas, right? For example, B1/B2, we have F1, H1B, which is dual intent. We have B1/B2, which is single intent. So for the purpose of this video, let's just assume that you came with a B1/B2 visa. And we know that with B1/B2 visa, you have to stay here within 6 months only, then leave, right? The moment you go over the 6 months and you leave after 6 months, then you have a 3 years ban. If you leave after 1 year, then you have a 10 years ban from entering the US. So, but let's say you just overstay and you don't want to go, what can I do? So, I'm gonna divide immigration in 4 categories. I'm gonna talk about possibility with humanitarian type of visa, possibility with employment, possibility with family-based, and possibility with self-sponsor. Let's start with humanitarian visas. Are you qualified for asylum? If you qualify for asylum, just remember you have to apply for asylum within 1 year of your physical presence. Let's say you stay for 6 months or more than for 7 months. Yes, you are still within that deadline requirement to apply for asylum, provided that you actually fear persecution, right? The reasonable fear of persecution. You have to be able to prove that. I've talked about asylum a lot on this channel. I would suggest that you refer back to my previous asylum videos. And if you have been here for more than 1 year, then asylum your claim for asylum becomes a little bit shaky. Right now, you have to show if you actually meet the requirements for the exceptions for the deadline, for the 1 year deadline rule. What are those exceptions? Changes in circumstances in your country of origin or extraordinary circumstances beyond your control. You have to be able to prove it. I've talked about the deadline, exception rules on this channel. Just go ahead and revisit that. Then we have U visa. You have to be a victim of a crime, qualifying crime, not just any crime. You want to know about those qualifying crimes? visit again my other previous videos. If you qualify, then you apply for U visa. And with U visa, it's even better. It's really good in terms of if you didn't come to the US with inspection, like entry without inspection. Yeah, U visa is good for you in terms of changing. Then we have in terms of adjustment of status. That's what I meant to say. Then we have T visa, right? But T visa, remember, it's a different requirement. Really, you have to be qualified from outside of the country, right? Like you came here because you were trafficked to the US. That concludes our humanitarian section. Then we have those other like humanitarian parole and stuff like that, but those are not for the purpose of adjusting status. We're talking about someone who actually want to get a green card later on. Then we have family base. With family base, it has to be an immediate family member, right? If it's a family, immediate family member or relative, it's gonna work for you to adjust status. That could be a spouse, parent, if you're under the age of 21, a parent, or a child, right? The child, if the child is over 21, then it's good for the parent who has overstayed their visa. So the question that has been asked is on this channel, at least this person has asked this question several times, right? The person is asking, well, I'm 55 years old and my dad is a US citizen. Can I adjust status? The question, the answer is your dad can file for you, but you cannot adjust status inside of the US because you are no longer an immediate relative. You become a relative, but you're no longer immediate relative because you're an adult child of US citizen. Then, first of all, you have to wait for it to become the visa to become current. And once the visa becomes current, because you have been here unlawfully present, you have to ask for a waiver, 601A, a provisional unlawful presence waiver. Then once it is approved, get out and do consular processing. The same goes for siblings. For the siblings, it becomes even worse because unless you have a qualifying relative for the purpose of waiver, which has to only be a parent or a spouse, otherwise siblings is not going to help you adjust status. We've talked about it too. So now we go to the section of employer. In order for the employer to sponsor you, right, when you actually overstay your visa, in order for it to work, you have to have two things going on for you. If you have a way to get advanced parole, let's say you have TPS and have a way to get advanced parole, what you're gonna do is once the petition is approved, then you're gonna get out and get to consular processing. If you don't have a way to get advanced parole, you have to have a qualifying relative, parent or spouse, lawful permanent resident or US citizen. At that point, once the petition get approved, you can apply for a waiver, get out and do consular processing. After the waiver get approved, right? There's a lot of risks involved with that procedure, but you know, that's the only way with employment when you have overstayed your visa. Because for employment, there's no other way unless you have a way to have advanced parole for TPS holders, for example, or DACA recipient, for example. They can apply for advanced parole or travel document, get out for consular processing once the employer petition get approved. Otherwise, almost impossible to adjust under employer. Because the law for employer is that you have to be lawfully present at the time of adjusting status. That goes for pretty much everything. But for them, it's like if you're unlawfully present for less than 6 months, it might work. But here we're talking about for those who actually have overstayed their visa. Okay? That's how it goes with employee. Self-petition, again, the same thing. Once you overstay your visa, it becomes difficult. unless you have a way to get advance parole and travel outside. You're gonna use it once your petition get approved. EB1, EB2, self-sponsor petitions get approved. Then you use advance parole, you get out and do cancel processing from outside. Or you have a parent or a spouse who is a lawful permanent resident, or you're a citizen, for them claim a waiver on their behalf, get the waiver approved, then get out and do consular processing. That's the only way it's going to work. So I guess we did 10 minutes consultation. If you have more questions, just please do not hesitate to comment below or schedule your own consultation. Consultation fees apply. The link for consultation is in the description box. You can also just call 202-751-2180. Until next time, bye-bye.